Hey everybody, it's John Wolpert here with the Baseline Protocol office hours weekly at Wednesdays at noon U.S. Eastern. Here we have our studio audience, our panel of esteemed guests, of course, Andreas Freund, Mark Haddle, and we have Alex Nesson, and we will be shortly, hopefully getting Kyle Thomas in to have a little session on what's coming up for ETH Atlanta and what's going on with Base Ledger. Yeah, he's committed to coming in, but he's pretty busy getting ready. So we'll see if we can get him aboard pretty soon. It's good to see everybody here. Nick, Andreas, I think Andreas, we can probably take this chance to talk about the standard, which I think is a day away from. There's Kyle right there. Hey, Kyle.
Hey.
Hey.
Sorry, I'm a few minutes late.
Not at all. You're good. Cool. So we're going to talk real quick about the standard. Andreas is here to kind of update us on that. And Andreas now is leading the standards work through to final ratification at Oasis and ultimately on to hopefully ISO. Sorry, Alex, did you want to say something?
Nope.
Okay. Go ahead and mute if you're not muted. So Andreas, you'd like to give us an update on where we're at?
Sure. So the standard is comprised of 3 documents, right? Document number 1 is the core specification. So what should a baseline protocol implementation BSI stack look like? What should it comply with? The second document is a description of the consensus controlled state machine, also commonly known as a blockchain or DLT in everybody's favorite vernacular. What are the requirements that a CCSM, consensus controlled state machine, should comply with for it to be compliant to use with the core, with the baseline protocol core. And then last but not least, that's right, last but not least, the APIs. And we are still in the process of finalizing that. We hope that tomorrow we'll have the final agreement on what it should look like, and then we probably need another week to write everything up. And upon that, we should be ready. We need to do a final editor read through to make sure that literally the I's and the T's are dotted and crossed. And then we will submit for ratification of the draft, which is step 1. And once the draft has been ratified by the TSC, it will be submitted for final ratification to Oasis. So I hope that should be a fairly smooth sailing process. I am in contact with Chet, our Oasis standard shepherd.
Yeah, that's Chet Ensign, who's
Chet Ensign.
One of the I think one of the originals at the Oasis organization, which
Yes.
shouldn't be confused with. There is a blockchain Oasis organization, which is not the same. Oasis is the open standards body behind things like SGML and AMQTT and AMQP and other internet standards, many of which go on to IEEE or ISO or other standards bodies from there.
Correct. So we will hopefully get that done by the end of the year. Current feedback seems to be that shouldn't be a problem, since the standard seems to be in good shape. So we anticipate no major obstacles as of now that obviously can change on a dime, but we will see. I think everybody is committed to getting this done in an expedient way.
Right on. Okay,
Nice work.
thanks, Andreas. So yeah, what do you guys think about all that? Kyle, you think we're ready to get it in the can?
Oh yeah, I think so. Andreas, great work. It's been a great learning experience to work with you.
Same here.
It's been fun.
I put the link to the standard in both chat, and I think I put the caption up here. One of the things I do like about this restream thing. So the caption is there, and if anybody out there is a distributed systems person, I think this is something that you're going to want to look at. In that it's not just about blockchain or even IT system integration. It's really a terrific
Changing
piece of
the
work around
world.
distributed systems. Yeah, it's about state synchronization over the internet. And that's
sets a high standard for distributed system standards.
Indeed. Distributed systems is hard stuff, man. I mean, I don't remember who it was. I don't remember his name, but one of the OGs of distributed systems said, the rule number one of distributed systems is if you can avoid doing a distributed system, do so. Yeah. So it's always easier on one machine, right? One CPU. Okay, so I think that was the first thing we wanted to talk about. So thanks, Andreas. And we'll be able to talk people through the standard, hopefully at EEA at the event in Atlanta.
ETH Atlanta. You were looking for that one.
ETH ATL.
ETH Atlanta. Come join ETH Atlanta.
Right.
I did my best.
That was
minion
good.
Dance.
That was
I was trying out my minion dance here.
Right.
I liked it.
Yeah. So ETH Atlanta. That's that's the 1st through the 3rd of October, and it will be at what's the location?
Atlanta Tech Park.
At the Atlanta Tech Park, and it'll be both live.
Yeah, we had lots of folks have signed up to come in person, and lots of people, I'm sure, from around the world will join virtually.
Right. So if you want to join the hackathon, there are already prizes being compiled, and cash money and other kinds of good things. And there's going to be some real interesting challenges. I know we're going to bring one of them around NFTs and using Baseline to really transform NFTs into something crazy, so much better than for creators than I think what we have today in the NFT world. I think it could set it on fire. Everyone, I was on Clubhouses for 9 hours. I was driving back from a trip, and all Sunday long I was on different Clubhouse sessions with different NFT people. And it was funny that when I told the general idea of how to use Baseline and for a more powerful way of doing NFTs, people just lost it. They were like, how soon can we get that? There was probably 2,000 people all up on these different channels, and they all were really, really excited about that. And where we get it, how can we get it? So we're working right now to build a prototype of that for hackers to use to extend by October 1. And I have to say, I'm being a little brave by saying that, because we're working on it right now, Andreas and I and some others, to build that out by October 1, and that's 3 weeks away. So we're like, how minimal can we make this? How simple and how doable can we do this? We think we can pull it off by the 1st of October. And I'm saying it publicly so that we can stay on task. That way, it's like they say, when Cortez
Thanks, John.
reached the New World, he burned his ships, right?
That thank you. Another one out of my now that's project number, I don't know, 7, 8 or something like that I want now. Thank you. Wow about your wife.
Level,
it's like
I've done my job.
your wife is a saint. right? So it's like 9 hours on Clubhouse. Wow, she really must have loved you.
Oh, well, actually, I was driving alone on the 9 hours. I drove ahead.
Oh, you drive. Oh, you drive by yourself. Okay.
No, that would have been crazy.
Never mind. Oh, it's like any highway patrol troopers listening right now. He did not drive and being on Clubhouse. No, he didn't do that.
No.
It was hands-free, so.
Hey, Jack, it's good to see you. Jack Lee, everybody, from Provide. And,
Hey, Jack.
Yeah. So any other words of wisdom or anything about the hackathon or ETH Atlanta, Jack, that you'd like to add before we move on?
I apologize. I missed the beginning of the show. I was running over on a meeting, so I don't know what was articulated at this point in time. Kyle, have you shared some of the insights on some of the bounties that we're expecting?
I haven't. Why don't you do that, Jack? I think that's a good segue.
Didn't want to steal your thunder, Jack.
Yeah, I actually didn't want to steal Kyle's, fortunately. So,
Well, somebody's got to steal somebody's. So you go ahead.
I mean,
Steal away.
What are all
do
the
you want to give just some initial thoughts on it? I know we're still afraid.
Yeah.
We've baked out most of the agenda at this point in time. We are in contact with a number of the organizations that are going to be involved. Some of those sessions that are happening, the how to build sessions, prior to that, or just after the hackathon kicking off, there will be bounties associated to a number of those organizations. Kyle, do you want to go?
Connect, storage, chain link, the graph. Okay, I'm done.
Hey, Attack Titan, I agree. Jack does have beautiful hair. Well said.
Indeed.
Well, thank you.
Provide, Unibright.
Yeah, but to that
Consensus.
to that point, we're fortunately securing a number of great sponsors for ETH Atlanta. We welcome more sponsors getting involved. As part of that, we have a number of sessions kicking off right after the hackathon, in which they're kind of like how to build sessions. There's one with Connects, as Kyle was saying, storage, Chainlink, the graph, and Provide. We may continue to see.
Sounds like Consensus. Sounds like Consensus wants to do one too, so they can introduce folks on how to build on this NFT thing as well.
I would only suspect so. Isn't that so, Nick?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there'll be some project announcements as well.
Sonal's got a question in chat that is probably pretty prudent for the audience and the hackathon attendees. If you want to tackle that one.
What level of experience in blockchain development is needed to join the hackathon? Great question. By the way, that's from Sonal, who's our new community organizer and operational integrity leader for Baseline and for my team here.
It depends.
Good question, Sonal.
Yeah. I think it depends, right? Like you could be very much a blockchain expert and maybe see yourself or find yourself working on something related to Base Ledger during the hackathon. The bridges between the Ethereum network and Base Ledger. Or you could know absolutely nothing about blockchain and use the abstraction layers provided to you by Provide and others to build your project during the hackathon. So I'd say that you'll be able to find a good mix of talent there, and from different backgrounds and interests, from the enterprise, all the way to systems level engineers.
Yeah, as well as many of the emerging leading organizations within the Ethereum ecosystem as well. So, and their respective developer ecosystems.
That's great. And so there'll be
projects
BSN.
BSN, forgot BSN. They're going to be doing something as well during that initial set of like hackathon kickoffs. That'll be good too.
Outstanding. Yeah, there'll be projects like ours that can take on other people, right? So you can say, hey, this NFT thing, here's the basic structure. Form teams, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's a lot of there'll be a lot of companies, especially from around the Atlanta area. Is that right? So that's a lot of people looking for talent. Yeah. Very good. So, yeah, so let's talk. Actually, let's use that to segue into Kyle. Let's get people ready, right? We've got 3 of these shows left before the 1st of October, I think. Next week, by the way, just so you know, next week we will be having our General Assembly meeting during this time frame, which so we've decided to take one of the baseline shows a month and have it be more of our General Assembly session, which so we'll have lots of people on, discussing the business of the community of baselining, and the core devs will report in, the outreach team will report in, the standards team. So we'll do that next week, next Wednesday, the 19th or the 15th of September, and then we'll be back to your normally scheduled programming, where we're going to be more and more booking interviewees and interviewers to talk about real specific things that they're doing, either with baselining or with systems that need to baseline, that sort of thing. So today, Kyle and I were talking about how we can use today and the week after next and the following week to kind of get hackers and people ready for the event. So you might have seen last week's show with Chico Crypto, who was giving us an interview about this, but it was pretty high level. I thought we could kind of dive in a little bit deeper and do a little bit of Yes, code don't lie, everyone. Code don't lie. So we can get everybody thinking about what they need to do, what they need to build, and Kyle, I thought we could go into a little more depth on that today. Is that cool with you? Nope, you're on mute.
Hey, that was pretty sweet too.
That was pretty nice. We can talk through that. So I also just, well, I don't know if I put it in a public chat. We've created a Discord, a community Discord around Base Ledger for folks so they can sort of tune in and catch some step-by-step instructions, on how to run a node. So we could see a pretty significant increase in node operators, in advance of October 1st. So I just shared that link. If anybody wants to,
I put it up on screen.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think that's a really good place for folks to start in terms of the in terms of sort of being prepared on the Base Ledger side. We're going to be pushing some code in the next days that turn on the validator, sort of the validator testing for those early testnet operators. So I would hit up the Discord as a starting point, and then also in terms of riffing on like what sort of good ideas might inspire people for the hackathon. John, I think I think that's probably a good approach for today. Thanks for posting that.
Yeah, so that's a good start. Yeah, so Discord, and so we can see if I put that up. Oh, I just accepted my invite to that.
Your audio just got a lot louder, John.
Is that okay?
It's a little muffled for some reason.
No.
I think, how's that, better?
Oh, I think it just switched back. Go ahead.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I had to mute Andreas, who's typing. Let me, I just got the Discord up. And yeah, I can, let's see, shall I show that to folks?
You certainly can if you want. It's just, it's just a Discord with people in it. And I mean, if you join that Discord, we're going to do a few sort of sessions that help folks get onboarded to run nodes very quickly. So I would stay tuned in there, in the coming few days for some interactive content there, helping folks get nodes turned on. I will say a lot of really big organizations have reached out already, interested in running nodes. on the Base Ledger network, and we're talking with all of them, and they're going to run nodes.
Sweet.
So that's cool. Yeah.
Are we seeing traffic on the? I mean, are we seeing network activity on the testnet so far? I know it's a little early. But.
So we've got 2 test nets, and so there's activity, but it's sparse, but it's going to ramp up here in the coming weeks.
Very cool. And where do people go to monitor that now that it's public?
There's a URL that could probably be a little easier.
Yeah, throw it up.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it here.
It's like got an obscure port on it still. Here's the link to that.
Cool. All right. Yeah, got it. So I'll put that up. This is
so this is the Peachtree block explorer. And so this is the network that is going to be bridged to Ethereum here. It's bridged now, but we're working through a few upgrades to our stack once again primarily around NATS and the NATS the Jetstream service. We've taken some measures to really speed things up, and we're rolling the rest of that out right now.
Very cool. So yeah, let's go through and so Andreas and I are working on this NFT scheme, right? That would drop baseline proofs on the Base Ledger, right? So what's the first thing that I'm going to do as I'm in the hackathon. We haven't prepped, but I'm going to go. I've been looking at the Discord. I know I'm going to go over to baseledger.net or baseledger.network, right?
Baseledger.net. Yeah.
Baseledger.net. Sorry about that. And then what am I going to do?
I mean, you're going to you're just going to run the BRI1 essentially, and call the privacy service to generate proofs. We're probably going to want to think about a circuit, right? Or is it just going to be a generic circuit? Like how is the circuit?
We've got one circuit, specialized circuit in our case.
Yeah, so you'll mount the circuit.
Okay.
To provide privacy, if you go to github.com/provide platform/privacy, and you look at.
That was. I'm sorry again.
github.com/provide platform/privacy. You'll want to do that. And then if you look at the bond circuit branch.
github.com/provide. I got it wrong. Hold on.
Here, I'll send you a link.
It's actually linked right off of your website, or off the Base Ledger website, right?
Yeah. I just sent you a link to a branch though.
Okay, but if I'm just coming to Base Ledger, walk me through how I would find it from here.
Go to /testnet.
Oh, right. So baseledger.net/testnet.
Yeah. And then click on provide GitHub, actually.
There you go.
And then if you click on privacy.
There I am.
And if you change the branch to bond circuit.
Oh, this hasn't been checked in yet. Okay.
Right. And then if you look at bond.go, that is the bond circuit from the bond bounce or the bond bounty that the JPMC guys built. What we're looking at, so you could create a branch, like you could fork this and create a branch and drop your circuit in there, or there's probably going to be an easier way where you can just mount a directory that contains your circuit. However, that's in our backlog. We're looking to have that in place. So you, instead of having to like fork the repo, you could just run the container and run the circuit alongside the container. Just mount it basically on as a Docker volume. And then the bond circuit, for in this example, the bond circuit is essentially available to our privacy API. So if you go to into docs.provide.services/privacy.
Docs. Okay, I'm gonna go back over to. Yeah.
There's probably a link in there actually.
Yep. Docs.
Oh yeah, that works. Yeah, that works. So if you look at, if you under the REST API v1 privacy, down one more. Oh, right there. Yeah. So if you look at the provers.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we should probably mention to newbies that this is that both Socrates and NARC, the GNARK are supported.
It's
right?
it's just NARC.
Just NARC for now.
Yeah, we looked at Socrates, but there was some performance issues with.
That's fine, but you probably want to change that on your README says both are supported.
I think we actually changed it. Oh, on that branch it says that. Yeah. On the main README it doesn't.
Oh, okay. Right, got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When are you going to push that one branch, by the way?
The bond circuit. For the BRI one, it's been pushed. It's ready to merge. We can merge it today if you want.
Hey, by the way, what's up with just a quick update on Bishwashri Day's Excel?
There's a PR open against the repo.
Yeah, I know it's open, but I'd love to release that. I'm sure everybody is pretty excited about getting using Excel and hackathon.
Yeah, she's gonna do a workshop as well around that at ETH Atlanta.
At the hackathon. Oh, great! Is she coming?
Yeah.
Oh, she'll do it virtually from India.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, yeah,
Bishwashri
we'll
Day, everybody, is very cool. If you haven't run across Bishwashri, she's a developer out of, she's got her own company working out of India, and she worked with Kyle and I think Dan Norkin and those guys, right, as well, on making a plugin for Excel so that you can baseline Excel spreadsheet items with.
It's quite good. We'll circle back and get the PR merged as well before the hackathon. But she'll be doing a workshop around how to build on top of it.
Okay, everybody, stay tuned to this channel. When it does come out, we'll definitely announce it on the show, and we'll make sure you get those resources. I think you can see the work in progress on baseline-protocol.org if you go to the repo, which it's pretty close to done. I just think it needs to get merged. Need to work with some folks on that. Okay, so we're back to provide privacy. So I'm going to look at the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get fork the repo for provide privacy, and so what else am I going to do?
Well, once you drop your circuit in there, you don't necessarily have to fork it. You might just be able to mount your circuit as a volume. That would probably be a little easier. Then when you run the container, it'll be available in the circuit registry. If you look at, I believe it's circuit registry, actually, you want to look at first.
In the docs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's right there under privacy.
So I'm going to go to circuit registry. There you go. Some satisfying code for people there.
And so let's see. Under circuit registry, you've got, maybe it's actually under provers. Yeah, it's under provers. We just have to update these docs. So essentially what you'll be able to do is create a new prover, so Andreas, this is a bit more in line with the verbiage that we talked about related to just more generic verbiage around the circuits. So if you have your circuit mounted when you run the privacy service and you call create prover, with the appropriate identifier, you're going to get like a compiled instance of your circuit, and you'll be able to then call generate proof, which is a little bit further down. You'll be able to call generate proof on that circuit, and that does all the magic of not only creating the proof, but writing it to base ledger. And yeah, that's sort of where the magic
that's really,
happens.
yeah, I'll tell you, that's Kyle, what that's the juice. That's what I was looking for today too.
That's the API. That's the API that you're going to like to use the most, I think, at the hackathon. And also verify proof. That would be a good one too. That one's below it. So the witness parameters are going to be specific to your circuit, and the privacy service will reflectively marshal that witness and map it to your witness that you defined in your NARC circuit when you generate the proof. So
and,
that
and
right
where
there.
would I go to find out, like, if I needed, a lot of people get stunned, the whole ZK circuit thing. Now, they should know, right, that they can just use the consistency circuit that I think is already in there, right?
Yeah, there's a handful of circuits in there. The bond circuits in there from the JPMC example.
That'll allow you to basically validate a bond, right? Like a financial bond.
Yeah, it's some good example. So it's a pretty good example circuit. And then I think there's a few others in there as well. But yeah, I think I think the general consistency one works. But it'll be cool to see folks build additional NARC circuits for their hackathon projects.
Right on. So, Kyle, and maybe Andreas, you might want to tap in on this question as well. What is your sense of when or where would you send somebody to get really a practitioner's understanding of zero knowledge circuits and how they might be used in these cases if they're interested?
I'm sorry, what was that question for me?
Oh, you were Andreas, I'm sure.
I mean, Andreas, there's probably has some good links. Like I always like to think about it in like simple story terms, like the Where's Waldo thing, the Where's Waldo example, and the commercial fishing example. I think those are pretty solid. But yeah, Andreas, you want to weigh in on something more scientific in terms of resources? It's certainly helpful.
Professor Freund?
You might be on mute.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You are. Go ahead, Andreas. Sorry.
Oh, okay. One of the things that I would recommend is Matter Labs has a great library of zero knowledge resources. So that I would definitely recommend as a starting point, because that goes from like the simplest examples of what's zero knowledge proof, blah blah blah, to the really sophisticated explanations of recursive snarks and stuff like that. So that is a great place to start. But again, just like with Solidity, right? You're writing Solidity code. Do you understand how the compiler works and what the bytecode means and push on the stack and
Hopefully.
it's like Kyle, hopefully. It's like I guarantee you 99.9999% of Solidity developers have absolutely no clue how the actual EVM works.
0x40, baby. That's your friend.
Right. It's like so, it's like, and you don't have to, and that comes back to what John was saying.
You sort of need to though.
No, not really. It's like you just need to know that it it's like you're
that's how lots of funds have been
well.
I got to tell you, I think this is where a nice like simple, almost visual circuit builder tool would be hugely useful. I mean, consistency circuit is going to get you most of the way there, right?
You don't have that for Solidity either, and that has already a 6-year history. You don't have a no code Solidity builder yet.
What you
not
want?
necessarily
What I
no
think
code. But you want some kind of tool suite that allows you to not have to know, the math and still.
So it's like if you wanted something like Open Zeppelin has sort of like a toolbox, right? A Solidity toolbox where you're like, oh, you want that? Just deploy this, and this like gets your ERC20s and ERC721s like out of the box with all the right security features, blah blah blah, and you can get going, right? So you can build up from there. That is sort of like the most sophisticated piece that currently exists. What I'm just trying to say is that we have not progressed to the no code stage yet, as you have now.
No, I don't think that's required. No code.
Well, but that's really what you simple code still requires you to utilize truffle and
get the right code.
You have to write code, right? So it's like Gnarg isn't bad, it's like any other of those circuit languages.
So Gnarg itself, if you can write code, we'll walk you through a bit of it, right? If you're skilled.
Yeah, I think we're also going to show a pretty nice teaser of what we've been working on with Shuttle at ETH Atlanta. So we'll be able to show sort of the state of the no code integration bits as they stand at that point. We've been working hard on that, and looking forward to sharing just where it sits and maybe do something cool around it.
Yeah, it'd be wonderful to have in the can, like maybe a video, but certainly live.
We'll do it live.
Somebody like Andreas, going, okay, here's the first thing I do to create. Here, I'm going to create a circuit that looks like this, and here's what I do, and here's the next thing I do, and here's the next thing I do, and boom, now I've got a circuit deployed here.
Well, what you want is for the Solidity code that's being used, even if it's like dynamically generated, to have been very well audited. And you don't want to go and write new Solidity code. You want to only modify constraints around circuits that then the Solidity code gets code generated based on a very well audited base, and then you don't have quite the risk of writing your own Solidity code.
Oh yeah, I think there's a real business for somebody in writing lots of libraries, right? Circuit libraries.
So one of the biggest efforts that are currently being done in the community around to write circuits is really you have in Solidity the ability to integrate other contracts in your contract, right? And to call other contracts, right? So it's that next layer of abstraction that is like, so what if I wanted to have a proof from another circuit be an input to my circuit, but I don't want to have to manually do that? How do I do that? That is one of the big things that people are currently working on, whether that's Starkware with Cairo or Aztec with Noir or Matter Labs with Zinc. That it's like there's Alea with Leo. So it's like those are all these. That's basically it, right? You want to be able to call not only functions within your circuit, but you want to integrate other circuits that already have been done into your circuit, just like a library you have, right? And you want to be able to call other circuits, right?
This is where knowing Solidity or not knowing it will really bite you in the ass.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes.
Like if you don't know how the opcodes work at that level, you're in for some hurt.
I mean, especially if you're starting to use assembly, then you're delegate call. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's like That's why it's like go and read the best Solidity best practices around security. That Consensus has done an awesome job with those docs. I really must salute them. That's besides Open Zeppelin. Those are the two resources I give to everyone who says, so how do I get started? What do I do? It's like these two: Open Zeppelin, consensus best practices. Checkbox that.
Yeah.
Right on, Andreas. Nick,
I got a quick question.
You had a question, right?
Yeah. Has anyone played with the zero knowledge compiler that EY talked about at their last blockchain summit at all?
Oh, that one, the Nightfall. Yeah, that's actually.
I don't think it's.
actually.
I don't think it's Nightfall.
It's not Nightfall.
It's not Nightfall. It's called Starlight.
It's
Starlight.
complementary.
Yeah. Sorry. Starlight. Yeah. Sorry.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it is cool.
Concept. Yeah.
So it makes it easy. You just declare. You know, if a step in your code is private or not.
Yeah,
I think it's a new keyword they're calling secret. Right?
Secret.
Yeah,
you can't call it private, I guess.
So
Right, you can't
it's
call it
easier.
private, yeah, it's secret. Right.
So it makes it easier, but it still requires code, right? You're obviously adding
of course, you'll
parameters
always
and file
and
switches.
and deep understanding of solidity.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. So I know Kyle. In a couple weeks, you guys are gonna give us a demo of, or not a demo. We'll do that during Atlanta, but you're going to show us sort of the cookbook for how you're doing the Battleship.
Yeah, I think David's
demo,
David's been working on a nice UX to show folks kind of a good hello world.
We should talk a little bit about this. So I think this is kind of a cool thing. So for folks who don't know, a really good way of visualizing what's going on with baselining is the game of Battleship, right? So the notion here is that in Battleship, you have you have, if you've ever played the game, especially the not electronic one, and I did this with my daughter who was 8 recently, and she was putting pegs in willfully and sometimes unwillfully in the wrong holes when I would call hits, and so I wasn't confident that where she was putting the pegs on her board were the same as the ones I was calling. If I would say E6, right? Maybe she put it in E5, or maybe she didn't put it there at all. And so what I would have to do, I would have to look over the top of her board and double check, which of course is kind of not dissimilar to when you are sharing an invoice between you and your customer, and you want to be sure that they've got the right one. You've got to email them and say, "Hey, can you confirm what's on what your version of the invoice is?" And that's human time, and takes up time. So with Battleship, a baseline Battleship, you don't want to give away what's on the board, but you want to be sure that the hits that I call are verifiably consistent with what is on their board without telling me anything else about the board. Fair? Is that, Kyle, is that a good way of describing it?
Yeah, sure.
So Battleship Demo will show I think it's just a single.
It's a nice little hello world.
Set just a single battleship, not like 6 battleships. So simple, right?
It's like you can. I think it's like 4 blocks, 4
little battleship slots that you can put in there.
Yeah.
And then you can call your hits, and each of those will use baselining to verify that you have that anything you called is consistent with the other players, right?
Yep.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think that's a great example, and I think you've talked a lot about poker as well as another.
Like you think about if you could play Texas Hold'em without showing your cards, it's kind of cool. Right.
Yeah.
Like you never would have to show them. It's the same thing really as Battleship, only with a little more complexity, right?
Well, the Battleship analogy.
And more gambling. Anyway.
I was going to say the Battleship analogy is very useful when you are, really evangelizing this to a non-technical audience.
It's a nice hello world. It really is. Yeah.
It really is.
I'm not sure about the poker thing. When I call somebody in a big pot, I
you got to see
their cards. Yeah.
Yeah. But what if you don't have to? You can just say, I don't know.
Or if there's 5 people around the table, it's just the 2 people at the end, right? Something like that.
Well, you can certainly use the zero knowledge to say, I am not lying that that this whole card is below the or it has without showing.
It's the same as Battleship.
Your ace, right? Or like you've got a 10.
I am not lying. I have 5
just,
aces.
Yeah.
You can actually use it for cheating too, right? So you can communicate someone in zero knowledge whether they have the best card, whether they hold the best hand or not, without revealing. I didn't tell you what cards these guys had. I didn't. Honestly, I didn't.
All right, we're digressing. We're digressing.
All right, so that's what's coming next.
The protocol doesn't support that yet.
Yeah, I think the week after next, you guys are going to show that off, right? And it doesn't have to be done, right? You just, I'm hoping what we can do is
be some food for thought.
Yeah, like it would be great if David could get on and say, all right, here, I'm still working on this, but here's how I'm approaching it, and here's I've made this.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
and I'm going to plug in the privacy stack here, and I have to make sure that the test net's live, so I'm going to go do this and all that, right?
Yeah. No, that'll definitely, that's what we'll do. I think we're going to do it next week, right? That's what we said.
Week after, right? Because we're going to do
week after next. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, a little time. I think they'll be great, especially for hackers or hackathon participants that want to really get ready and know what they're doing beforehand. I think that seeing how Battleship is being constructed will help them get quickly into the rhythm of doing this stuff.
That makes sense.
Sweet. All right. Hey, I did see up, and I'm sorry for the person who where'd it go? This is a little bit late, but I'll bring this up. Oops, that's yours, Nick. When will invitation emails be sent out for those who have registered for the ETH Atlanta event, which is ethatl.com?
Probably Monday-ish or by midweek of next week, I'd say.
Monday of next week?
Call it probably midweek.
Midweek of next week. So
midweek-ish.
next week the emails will be sent out for those who are registered. And yeah. Okay, sounds good. Let's see. Anything else to announce? There's a lot coming. Like I said, I predict, and I put this on Twitter, and I think I got like 300, likes and retweets and stuff. I said, I predict that NFTs, any smart NFT in the future is going to, especially the kind that we're talking about, that we'll be presenting in ETH Atlanta, is going to need a baseline or going to want a baseline proof on something like Base Ledger. So I thought people were pretty excited about that. I've been getting a lot of questions about how that's going to work, and forgive me, everybody, I'm not going to tell you yet, but because we want to work it out and B, present it in real code rather than me kind of waving my hands over it. So stay tuned, be there at ETH Atlanta, and it's not too far away.
It'll be good.
Little bit, go ahead, Mark.
So one question when I start having some of my discussions, with people, around Baseline and Base Ledger, specifically when it comes to tokenization and the NFTs and stuff, everyone asks, well, how do you prevent the double spend? And my common answer is the zero knowledge proof will allow for that. And I think it's something that we definitely need to keep at least on the front pew about the zero knowledge proof.
That's right. Yeah.
And how important that is, because everyone always wants to ask that one question: how do you prevent the double spend?
Well, I mean, to be clear, that there are horses for courses, right? If you're trying to trade tokens, you're doing that on blockchains, and when you're doing that, you want to prevent the double spend that way.
Well, you got to prevent the double spend off chain prior to tokenization, I think, is what Mark's asking, or what he's alluding to. And that's where the state machine and the entanglement of the proofs come in.
Right. So you can prevent a double call, for example.
Well, it's sort of like spin. No, it's a double spin still, even though it's off chain. I mean, in the sense that you have a new note and a nullified note.
True, but I can take a record in my SAP system and duplicate it.
You can,
just fine.
You can, but then you aren't baselined anymore with that record.
Well, one of them isn't, right? Yeah, the first.
Well, the copy's not baselined.
The copy's not baseline necessarily because it's just but
it's not baseline. Yeah,
but you can have a copy of that record.
Yeah, sure. That's worthless if everyone's following the protocol.
Yeah. By the way, you do need to you do actually need to code up the reentrancy protection in the updates of the nullifiers on and the nodes, right? Right, Kyle?
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
This is like no. You know what? He knows what I'm talking about.
Well, in the original Radish demo that we did
It's in
about
there.
2 years ago, we did that with purchase orders, right? We said, we don't want we want purchase orders to come in sequentially and to not double up, right? And so in that case, you wrote that into the circuit specifically in such a way that you would be able to prevent 2 or more purchase orders coming in and calculating off of, say, the same discount rate. But that's that's I don't really think of that in the same way as I think of anti-double spend in traditional blockchain. When I want to do hardcore anti-double spend of a token or a currency of some kind, I'm probably going to do that on the blockchain. That's the point of it. Right?
Well,
You don't have to baseline with that.
here it is really the double spend stands for changing the same state twice.
Yeah.
Right.
That
It's like
is right. Yeah, you
that's
can't-
that's
yeah,
really
exactly.
that's really what this is about, right? So it's one and done. And so you need to, so you want to change your state, okay, get in line, right? So you need to have the assurance that you can't jump the line, right? So that's what you need to do, and that's why you have the consensus, right, in a blockchain. However, in the case of an L2, right, you still need to make sure that the code sequences the changes properly.
It's a distributed mutex.
Yeah. You just need to implement properly. If you don't, then you can still screw things up, right? Because you can still do double spend on the in the L2 if your code's poor, right?
Yes.
So unless you're again have a network right on top of it, that kind of like defeats the purpose though. So it's in the end, shitty code creates bad outcomes. So it's like whether it's on a blockchain or in an L2
Code
or in
don't
an
lie.
SAP. Code don't lie.
That's a
Professor Freund? Okay, so
shitty code produces shitty outcomes.
Yep.
This is a family show here. So hey, I think we're way past that. But hey, Kyle, what else would you like to? I mean, anything else about Provide Stack or where it's going that you want to talk about today before we take off?
No, I think everyone knows where we're headed. I think it's join the Discord group if you want to run a base ledger node. There's quite a bit of interest there. I think it'll be. We're excited for ETH Atlanta. Sorry, Jack. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the Discord is going to continue to be an integral piece of the community as we continue to build it out. So it's worth getting on it now because there's going to be a lot added to it as we continue to build this out. So I foresee that there are different ones predicated on the different systems of record as we continue to build this out, in which more folks and enterprise architects can gain insights through the Discord on these various systems of records and organizations that we're building with. So join now.
Very cool. I will say in my capacity as chair of the committee, I will say, Base Ledger and Provide are only one set of stacks. Base Ledgers, you can put your baseline proofs anywhere you like, as long as they're compliant with the standard, which we put up before. But Base Ledger and Provide stack are way out ahead of anybody else I know. Everybody I know is including my team, is building on that stack. And good on you guys for providing that leadership. It's important to know that if you're getting involved with baselining, use Base Ledger, use Provide. You're not getting you're not getting into vendor lock-in. You can use any set of systems that are compliant with the standard. But right now, the easiest way to do that, and it's still early. I think everybody would agree the easy button is still coming. The true easy button, but it's getting easier and easier every day. And I think it is finally to the point where, a competent developer can, with just normal amount of effort, figure it out and start deploying things. It may not work, but no, okay.
I would agree.
It'll work.
I think it's good.
Well, one little nugget to drop, just because there's been some NFT conversation today. There will be a Ethereum NFT focused on ETH-ATL auctioned off by one of the creators that are going to be involved in ETH Atlanta. And there will also be a Unibright, Provided Bright NFT auctioned off at ETH Atlanta as well by the same artist. So keep your eye out for that. That will be coming out here pretty soon, and those will be auctioned off through Foundation, as well as a number of other pieces of work by creators that are going to be involved at ETH Atlanta will be auctioned off via Foundation as well, a couple through OpenSea as well. And we'll have a metaverse built out for those, so people virtually can go and see those, and if they have interest to auction on them, to do so.
There's a question: how could an NFT artist get involved or be featured at ETH-ATL? Holler at Jack.
Yeah,
please do so. Yeah, we have
some. When they holler at you, rope them in. Maybe we can make their thing one of the fancy NFTs.
One of the things
we're building.
One of the things.
All right. One last PSA. As you know, we have a baseline show in India now. Saturdays at 6 p.m. India Standard Time (IST). That's 8:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern, and you can do the math on all the other time zones. If you you can go to our website, baselineprotocol.org, baseline-protocol.org, and find the link to all of these signups. We now have a really easy, talk about easy buttons. It's really easy to sign up for teams and meetings and projects on the right there on the website. Just go to the join the community or get involved link at the top, and you'll be able to do that. And there's an event in India that will be discussed on Saturday, I'm sure, the NASCOM event. So if you go to that link down there, you will be able to register for that event. So if you're in India, make sure to join the Baseline show there, and maybe join that event. We'll be featured at that event. I think there's lots of companies like TCS and Infosys and Accenture and others.
But for myself, if anybody wants to learn about DIDs and VCs and how to utilize them also in Baseline in a hands-on way, come join my session at an ungodly time.
You're doing a session at NASCOM as well?
You're doing an NASCOM session? Yeah.
That's
wow.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, we got 2 sessions right here.
What's the other one?
There's a baseline session at NASCOM.
We're doing a session too.
DIDs and VCs paving the way for self-sovereign identity.
Kyle,
that sounds good.
Kyle will be doing one on ZK.
Check the link.
Nice.
Kyle's doing one on ZK?
Yeah. Zero-knowledge proofs unlocking high-fidelity assets.
All right. Well, I feel slightly less special, but more happy that I'm not.
Hey, John, can we get that NASCOM link in the chat just so it's clickable instead of you can't even copy paste from where it is now. So it opens itself to human error.
I will endeavor to do that right now. I agree with you.
Thank you,
Copying pasting by itself is not safe.
Keep pasta.
Keep your funds safe out there.
I always try to drop a baseline proof whenever I copy and paste.
That's actually a good idea. That's the clipboard proof. It's a great freaking idea, John.
Baseline Clippy.
And to kind
baseline
of boost,
all the things. Sorry.
And to kind of boost Andreas's thing on there, VCs and DIDs. pay close attention to those, because those are going to gain traction very quickly. If one point of utility for VCs and DIDs is that spells the end of passwords, and that's something everybody is going.
Oh yeah, 2022 is going to be the year of the DID, I'm pretty sure.
The copy baseline proof paste verify is a freaking good idea.
Thank you very much.
That is very true. That's like mass spamming of the internet.
No. Base ledger.
No, it runs local. It runs local. It runs local.
You're baselining on your own.
It's a cybersecurity solution.
Yeah.
But only on your system, right?
Only on your system, yeah.
Only on your system, right? So you need a secure location. So
the idea is this: your computer is not secure, and so you're creating this other layer of indirection, so that the adversary or the APT who's after your ass must know about this other mechanism in order to actually like clipboard, in order to actually sniff your clipboard.
Sniff your clipboard, right? You keep
it's
your
actually a good idea, John.
It's actually keep your clipboard in zero knowledge, and you know what? It's like
fresh.
Activate hypervisor, run your own little T in there, and you're
just for your little clipboard. That way, when you paste, you have to have probably a kernel mod to really.
No, you don't.
Right?
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You wouldn't to run the proof verify.
You copy. You run a script that copies your clipboard automatically into the TE.
The problem is the attackers will be able to verify that too.
No, but not if your Control V checks your
yeah, exactly. It's got to check. It's got to
Control V checks the proof.
Exactly.
Does it have a proof or not? Thank you.
All right.
And now copy
pasta
on
the show.
By the way,
that's a great product.
All right.
And now
that's a great product.
And now copy.
I gotta go by
the
way, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
All right,
right,
everybody.
I'm late.
It's great seeing you all, and we'll see you next time on the baseline. Until then, keep on baselining.
Control V baseline.